All right, so good morning. I am Judge Peterson, Justice of the Peace for McLennan County Precinct 1. We're here today on an eviction suit. I now call calls number J12V24-0745. The plaintiff in this suit is Miss Laura Ormsby, and Miss Ormsby is with us this morning. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
All right, and the defendant in this suit is Mr. Kelly Woods, and Mr. Woods is with us as well. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
All right, you have both waived your right to a jury trial by not requesting one, which brings us to a bench trial or trial by judge. That's what we're doing here today. Neither side is represented by an attorney. However, this is the People's Court of McLennan County, and in the People's Court, you're not required to have an attorney. In this court, you can have your voice heard and have judgment rendered following proper procedure. So the first order of business is to swear in the witnesses. I'm going to ask you both to simply raise your right hand so I can administer the oath. Do you, both of you, solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give in this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
All right, that's what I needed, an affirmative from both. Now, for your benefit, Mr. Woods, I'm going to explain the procedure to you. This is a civil suit. In all civil suits, it is always the responsibility of the plaintiff to go first, to present all evidence, any documents, any testimony they feel they need to prove their case to the court, as they are the ones that filed the suit. It's imperative that both sides are heard. I will tell you, Mr. Woods, that when Ms. Ormsby gets through presenting her case, I will then give you the opportunity to give your defense if you wish to do so. That's entirely up to you. Understand that any testimony you give to the court, then Ms. Ormsby will have the opportunity to ask you questions as well if she feels the need to. Once all the evidence is heard, then the court will render a decision. Okay?
Well, I was gonna not oppose this if we could come to an agreement on my girlfriend has moved in and she's taken over the lease. So I'm thinking
yeah, Mr. Woods. Yeah, let me stop you there because I want you to understand this is not a negotiating trial.
Okay.
We're here because Ms. Ormsby has filed this suit for non-payment of rent and for
No, I paid rent.
Okay.
He has not paid rent since July.
Okay. All right. Let's we're getting ahead of
this month's rent.
We're getting ahead. Okay. Today, this is October.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway.
I just paid rent. I just paid.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to say that you're going to have an opportunity to give your defense as well. But first, the plaintiff goes first.
Okay. I understand.
I want to go to the petition that brings us to
I think
court
I'm
today.
having trouble with.
Yes.
Hello?
No, you're all right. You're all right, Mr. Woods. I think Ms. Ormsby, are you okay? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I think my internet is unstable a little bit.
Well, unfortunately, that could be the problem because you do need internet connection.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me go ahead and proceed, and then we'll see if you don't hear anything, just signal me that you can't hear. Okay. This petition, and Mr. Wood,
okay.
you have a copy of this petition that came with the paperwork that told you to be here today at this time. On the back side of it is a copy of this petition if you want to follow along. So this petition was filed in this court on September 24th, 2024. Plaintiff being Laura Ormsby and the defendant being Kelly Woods. The property is located at 201 Grinder Street, Bruceville, Eddy, Texas, 76630, which is in JP Precinct 1 of McLennan County. Now, the grounds for the eviction are one, for unpaid rent, and two, for lease violation, which we'll get to in just a minute. The next thing the court looks at is the notice to vacate, which shows to have been delivered on July the 3rd, 2024, and shows to have been hand delivered. which is proper. All right. Now, I will take judicial notice that Ms. Ormsby, you provided me with a couple documents here. Is this one of them? I hope the notice to vacate.
Yes, he was served, in July. And then he was served by the courts on, I don't know what date.
Well, the main service is, wait a minute, when did you, the petition says that you served him on July the 3rd.
Yes, I served him on July.
What did you serve him?
I served him with with an eviction notice at that point. He had 30 days. And then the police chief came with me. I actually have, just so you know, Your Honor, I have the woman he's claiming as his girlfriend is texting me right at this moment. She is not his girlfriend. The person he's claiming is his girlfriend that's paying rent on behalf of him.
Okay, well, let's do one thing at a time, okay? I'm trying to establish, you said that it was hand delivered.
Yes, sir.
And do you have a copy of the notice that you gave him? Because I thought I had it here, but I don't.
I do. I don't have it sitting here with me right now, but it did come in with paperwork. And then so he was served on July 3rd with a copy. I did give him at that time, because the property was such a mess, and that was my primary issue at that point, is I was receiving citations from the city in addition to him receiving citations to have it cleaned up. I gave him the option, when I served him on July 3rd, I gave him the option of cleaning up the property, and then we could renegotiate the eviction notice. He did not clean up the property. He didn't do anything about that. He told me that was the weekend of the 4th of July weekend. I was out of town. He told me that he messaged me and said that it was cleaned up completely. I would be shocked when I saw it, that he had hired 3 people to come in. When I got back from being out of town, I realized he hadn't done anything at all to the property, but add more stuff to it. I continued to receive notices. He didn't show up he was asked to come into court here at Bruceville Eddy, and he didn't show up. I did, and had to go in front of the judge. Then I went in front of the judge again in August and had to tell the judge that apparently 2 days before that he was arrested, and for what I don't know, but he was arrested. So I had to wait then, and then he was served by the courts. And when he got out of jail, he told the courts that that's where he lived. I'm not sure that he told them that he had been served with an eviction notice.
Miss Ormsby, I want to get you, hold on a minute. Mr. Woods has his signal. He stepped out. I don't know if he exited or he's not with us anymore. So I'm going to ask you to, okay, here he comes back again. Mr. Woods, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. You're not on video anymore, but that's okay. It's more important that you can hear everything.
Yes, sir.
Rather than we get to see you. So, Ms. Ormsby, you go ahead and continue now.
Okay, so then in August, I went in front of the judge for the second time, and they told me that the property needed to be cleaned up and that they had been giving Mr. Woods citations for months, and he was basically just continuing to not only bring rubbish and junk onto that property, but also it was now spilling over into the church next door, and they were going to start holding me liable for it because they couldn't get him to do anything. So I went to court again in August for it. He was in jail at that point. I was then called back in September and had to go to the prosecutor. And because, of course, the property hadn't been cleaned up. At some point during September, I received notice from our police chief that he had shown up back at the house again with a ankle monitor on. And That's
Okay,
when,
Miss Ormsby. Okay, you're giving me a plethora of information. We're here for two reasons. Number one, non-payment of rent.
okay,
Let's take that first.
all right.
Okay, is there a lease in this, do you have a lease with Mr. Woods?
Only verbally.
A verbal lease. So
Mhm.
what is the understanding? What is the monthly rent?
That was going to be $500 a month.
$500 a month. Okay, and what months are delinquent?
July, August, September, and now October.
Okay, Mr. Woods, do you understand what she just said?
That's not true though, because my girlfriend, my very good friend that took over this lease has been paying, and I paid her back for all of the
Okay,
money.
Mr. Woods, just a second. First of all, Miss Ormsby said there is no lease. This is a verbal agreement between
Yes,
you
Yes,
and
sir.
she. Okay, and it's
Yes, sir.
set for $500 a month.
Right.
Okay, you agree with that?
Yes, and it's been
Okay.
paid.
Pardon me?
It's been paid.
It has
Every
not
month.
been paid.
The plaintiff is right here saying it's not been paid.
It
How,
has been paid. I have.
by who?
All the money that I have.
By
that I've
who,
paid-
Mr. Woods? By
Yes,
who
sir.
and to whom? Who were the payments made to?
To Miss Ormsby.
Sir, she's right here saying she never got your money.
She got it from my girlfriend.
Judge, it's
I
not his
paid my
girlfriend.
girlfriend. I paid my girlfriend back for the last 4 months that she has paid her.
I learned that he had been subleasing rooms in the house to people. And one of the gals that was living there, she asked me when he went to jail, she asked if she could continue to stay in the room in that house if she paid me her share of that rent. I agreed to let her do that. So she has paid me for that room that she has rented in that house on that property.
It's the same $500 she's been paying.
It's not the same $500, sir. That is not the same at all.
What were you charging her?
She paid me $500 to rent a room.
So she paid the rent because you said that's what the rent was.
That
Yes.
was for her room in the house. That was not for the property that was his.
Well, wait a minute, Miss Ormsby, you just said that your agreement with Mr. Woods was $500 a month.
From him for the use of the entire property.
But okay, so you charged him $500 and her $500?
No, he was charging her $500. He was charging her without telling me.
Okay.
That's not true. That's just my girlfriend. I've been paying the rent since I've been here.
Well, I have.
Okay, that's enough. Do you have a copy of the notice to vacate that you gave Mr. Woods?
I do not with me right here at this point. I have only what the court system gave him.
You're talking about municipal court. Okay. Oh, no, we gave him notice of the eviction of the suit. Yes, we delivered that. But I'm talking about to initiate this suit, you have to give him notice to vacate in writing.
Yes, I did and police chief was with me.
And when was this?
July 3rd.
July 3rd. Okay. Mr. Wood, you remember getting that notice?
I got a notice to clean the property up.
No, and see, that's why I don't have a copy of the notice, Miss Ormsby. So what can I say? Was it a
eviction?
Miss Ormsby?
It was to clean
Mr.
the
Woods,
property
Mr.
up,
Woods.
not then I could stay.
Mr. Woods, please.
Yes, sir. Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Miss Ormsby,
Yes.
what did the notice say?
It said that he had 30 days to evict the property. It was a 30-day eviction notice.
Did it have anything about cleaning the property?
Yes, it said that he needed to clean the property up and that if he had it cleaned up with 10 days, we could renegotiate the eviction.
Okay. And nothing was done?
No.
It was cleaned up.
Okay. But, okay. All right. Do you have anything else?
Well, you have all of the citations from the city, which I believe totaled for him about $68,000 of what he's done to the property.
Okay, but I have no citations, nor do I need citations, okay? That's strictly between the city and him. And I guess you, because you're the property owner, but, so it's my understanding you own the property
Yes,
and you permitted Mr. Woods to stay there at $500 a month.
yes.
Okay. Now, my concern is when you say that his girlfriend paid, if his girlfriend paid $500, that's the rent. I mean, if he has her to stay with him, he can do that.
She's saying that she is not he doesn't have a girlfriend. It is a woman
Okay.
that is leasing a room on that property from me directly. And he's saying that her money that she's paying me is for him. It is not. I have numerous texts here from her, including one at 11:10 today, that states that she has nothing to do with him anymore. She doesn't want him there. She said that
That's
when
not
he's there,
true. That's not
well,
true.
Okay. All right. All right. Anything else?
no.
Mr. Wood, do you have anything?
Yes. The negotiation that we did on this property was $500 a month, was reduced rent for me doing work here. And I did about $20,000 worth of renovations here. And yes, the yard was in a mess, and I had a shop burned down in Axtell that I had to move my property somewhere to because that place was gone, what I had left. I moved it here and it was a mess, and I've got it cleaned up now. I had the police chief come over yesterday. He looked at it. She and him both said that they didn't have a problem with me staying here as long as I got the place clean. And all this work that I've done on this home, she's trying to evict me so she can get more money for the rent. I'm just trying to, I tried to get a 5-year lease with her. She said no, maybe 3. And then when I asked for 3, she said, well, I don't know what I'm going to be doing, maybe 2. And in the meanwhile, I'm doing $22,000 worth of renovations over here just to be able to live in the home. It was full of clutter and piled up in the backyard everywhere when I moved here. I mean, yes, I added to it. I'm not saying I did not, but this was a negotiation, and now she's trying to get out of me all the renovations that I've done, and that's not. It's just not fair on my part. But I don't have a problem with letting my girlfriend stay here, and I'll just keep letting her pay the rent. And as long as I have 2 buildings here, large buildings. You still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. 2 very large buildings that I have moved onto the property. It would take me a month, maybe 2 months to move one of them. I mean, they're large, they're not small. I made this my home, and I love the place, and it's clean now. I can take pictures and send it to you right now. And I talked with the chief of police yesterday, and he loved it. He said it looks great. Get rid of the trash trailer. I've got a trash trailer there. I've been piling everything in, and I said I can do that tomorrow, and that's today. And I mean, she told me she would renegotiate the 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 lease. I mean, the eviction if I cleaned it up. Well, I've cleaned it up. I mean, I've done what she asked me to do. I've done what the chief of police has asked me to do. I took responsibility for her tickets. I went down there and told them those are not her tickets. That's my stuff, and I will. Those need to be transferred to me, not her. And she has nothing to do with that. And I paid the rent every month since I've been here, every month on time. Maybe a day or 2 late at the most, but I mean, no more than 2 days late every month. And I've done out of my pocket, I've spent almost 7,000 in just materials in leveling the house and fixing the gutters and fixing the roof leaks and the sheetrock in the house that was coming apart because it was unlevel. And I mean, I've done a lot of work here, and I mean, I should still be able to have our deal unless she's selling the place.
All right. Do you have anything else?
I think that's about it.
Can I ask you, why would you make improvements on property that doesn't belong to you?
That was our bargain. That was our deal. That's why she gave it to me for $500 a month, was because I was going to do the renovations. And then as soon as I got through with the renovations, she's trying to evict me. And I should be able to, at least a 3-year lease on that deal where I can recoup my money that was put into the house.
Getting 2 different stories here, folks. Okay, all right. Do you have anything else, Mr. Woods?
Well, like I said, the police chief was here yesterday. He liked everything. He just wanted me to get rid of the trash trailer, and then they were fine with me staying.
Well, I will tell you that it doesn't matter if the chief is fine with you staying there. If you don't own the property, it's the property owner that owns it. And she has the say so. She has the say so, not the chief of police.
Right.
Okay. All right. Now, Miss Owensby, do you have anything else at this time?
Well, just that I spoke with the chief yesterday.
Okay.
And this just isn't the case. And the woman he's claiming is his girlfriend is not she claims she's not his girlfriend and wants nothing to do with him. So I don't know how I argue those things.
Okay. All right.
She's renting a room from me in that house. She was there, and she asked and she had been paying him directly.
Rooms here. I mean, I'm sitting in the house. She has her stuff in 3 rooms, and I have my stuff in 1 room.
Well, I don't know where she has her stuff in the house. She just said that when he went to jail, she contacted me and said that she did not want to take her. She wanted to know if she could stay. And she said she'd been paying him rent. The chief and I had to go over there to help another woman he was renting a room to get her things out of the house. And so the chief and I sat there while she got her things out of the house. We also had to go over there for somebody with a car that was there that they said they couldn't get, that they needed to get back from him. And we went over there, the chief and I went over there and sat while they collected their car because they were worried about being there when he was there. And so the one gal asked me if she could stay, and she said she'd been paying him rent.
Okay, let's not talk about others. Okay, we're only talking about you and Mr. Woods. Okay, and I've heard enough. Okay, and here's the problem that you have, Miss Holmesby. You are wanting an eviction on property that you own. Okay, that you are governed by the property code. Section 24, which shows you or tells you exactly how you are to effect an eviction. The first step is by giving him notice. Now, you've said that you gave him notice, but you can't show me a copy of what you gave him. You should be able to provide to the court a copy of what you said, because you said it's an eviction. He says it's not an eviction. It was something about cleaning up the place. I can't say one way or the other because I don't have a copy of the eviction notice. Okay.
And when I filed the suit, I actually brought a copy of that paperwork in.
Then I should have it in this file.
I don't know. They were busy when I was there, and they told me that they would send me a receipt for.
Yeah. And my clerks do not take. Well, I mean, they'll take evidence if you put it in there. I have two documents. I have one from the city of Bruceville, Eddie, dated October the 7th, 2024, regarding the property, but this is not an eviction notice. The other thing is a email that you provided, says something attached summary of citations. This is where you said you sent the citations, but we didn't print those things. But anyway, there's no copy of a notice to vacate. And therein lies the problem. You all need to if you want him out of the property, Miss Ormsby, you need to follow the property code. You need to give him written notice on date specific. You need to give him 3 days notice to vacate. And I mean, you gave him 30 days or 30 days, that's up to you. You can give him whatever length you want to, but you must give him 3 days at least, a minimum. And then you must be able to prove to the court that this is the notice that you gave him. Mr. Woods, I will tell you that if you get a notice to vacate from Miss Ormsby, she's telling you she don't want you in the property. And if you stay in the property, she'll have to file this case again, but she'll file an eviction and she can evict you from that residence. I don't care what property you have or you brought there, or what other agreement was. She is the owner of the property, and she can ask you to leave at any time. That's where you're at. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. May I have just? I have it right here in front of me right now. Notice to quit. It's up on my screen. If I can, let me see.
You can share, you can show me that if you can open it up on the screen and then
Okay.
put your cursor in where the video, your video is, you'll see a green box at the bottom. It
Share
says
screen.
share. And you click on that share button and you'll be able to find your document that's open and open that document and let me see it. Okay. All right.
I guess this was what I gave him actually on July 24th. I went there on July 3rd and gave him notice that because that was right after I'd been to court that day. And so I
Okay.
went straight there. So this was the second notice that I gave him to make sure that I was within my make sure that I was following everything correctly.
But she
Okay.
told me at that time, if I cleaned it up, that she would let me stay. And that's what I
Mr.
did.
Woods, just a second, let me read this document, okay? You remember getting this document, Mr. Woods?
No, sir. I didn't get a
Well,
copy of that at all.
just said she handed it to you.
No, not that one. She handed me one that said, in 10 days we can renegotiate the lease. I mean, renegotiate the eviction, but that was it.
Miss Hornsby, you need to leave it, let it go down a
Oh,
little bit.
sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm reading. Okay, all right. Do you have anything else to show? I mean, that's all I needed.
Okay, I have that, yes.
Okay, scroll to the very bottom though. There is a little bit more at the bottom. Let me read it all. Okay, right there, be good. Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, all right. You just hit stop share.
Oh, okay. It's saying it's
Yep,
asking
on
me for
that,
new
you
share.
yeah,
It's not, oh, I see. Okay, I'm sorry.
okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Woods, you have been given notice to vacate. You've not vacated.
I didn't get that notice though. Only one I got was said that if I cleaned up, that I could stay, or we would renegotiate the deal. I didn't get anything else from her. I promise you.
Miss Hornsby, what is that thing you just showed me?
It was a notice to vacate. On the 3rd, I gave him the notice that asked him to have it cleaned up. He did not, in 10 days, he did not do so. So I went back on the 20th. I would have given him that notice on the 24th that said that he had failed to do so and he had to leave the property.
You didn't give me anything. You've never given me anything but that one time that said 10 days to clean up. And I cleaned up. I cleaned and cleaned and cleaned.
It wasn't cleaned up 2 days ago. Now he's saying it was cleaned up yesterday. I did not go over there yesterday. He started messaging me last night stating that he had been working and cleaned it up and that he was going to have the police chief come over there. And I said, I'm sorry, we have gone past that point. He wanted me to drop this case today is what he wanted. He asked me if I would agree to drop the case. He said, I will take full responsibility. If they say you are going to hold you responsible, I will leave. I'm going to leave without the eviction is what is on this message.
Okay, all right. All right, that's enough. Anything else? I'm fixing to pass judgment here. We've been here too long. All right, do you have anything else?
No, sir.
Mr. Wood, do you have anything else in closing?
I haven't received anything from her except for notices to clean up. And I've done it.
All right. Okay. And by her testimony is that she gave it to you, she gave you 2 different notices. Okay. All right. Having heard the evidence, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pass judgment. I'm going to give you possession only Miss Owensby, if you want to try to collect rent from him, I wasn't satisfied in anything you said about $500, so I'm not going to address the rent. That's between you and he. And but I will give you possession of your property, and that's what you're going to get. Mr. Woods, you always retain the right to an appeal. If you want to appeal this case, that's up to you. But the bottom line is she owns the property and she wants you to be out. And you will have until Wednesday, October the 16th I'm sorry, 17th, 16th, to file an appeal if that's what you want to do.
I will.
Okay. All right, the judgments will go out in the mail today and you'll get them in your mailboxes respectively tomorrow or the next day. Okay?
All right, thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you all. We are adjourned.
Can you tell me how we file the appeal?
When you get the judgment, it'll tell you that you have to come down to the office. You're going to need to file $1,000 cash bond to file it. And then you're going to it has to go up to the county court at law.
Will I get the fee back, or do y'all keep that?
That's just a cash bond. It's just to hold it until it goes to court. That's all it is. We're not,
Okay.
yeah. You can get a surety bond. You put up $1,000 cash if you want, and if you win the case, whatever happens, you'll get it back. But
Right.
Okay. Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you.